The crowd was deafening, the energy electric, and the atmosphere inside the stadium unlike anything the WWE Universe had felt in years. WrestleMania had always been a night of legends, surprises, and unforgettable moments. But on this night, something deeper was in the air. 70,000 people stood shoulder to shoulder, their eyes fixed on the massive stage, waiting for the next chapter of history to unfold. Matches had come and gone, championships had changed hands, rivalries had reached boiling points, but all anyone could talk about was a rumor, a whisper that spread like wildfire, a belief that seemed too impossible to be true. Could the dead man rise again? Could the Undertaker return to WrestleMania? For 3 decades, the Undertaker wasn't just a superstar. He was the heartbeat of WrestleMania. His entrances alone were worth the price of admission. His streak of dominance, 21 straight victories, was a legacy unlike any other. But then, in 2020, we thought we saw the end. At Survivor Series, The Undertaker walked down to the ring for the final time, removed his gear, left his boots in the center, and raised his fist to the sky. It was emotional, it was heartbreaking, it was final. Or so we thought. Because in WWE, nothing is ever truly final. In the weeks leading up to WrestleMania 41, strange signs began to appear. A mysterious gong played during a Raw commercial break. The Titantron glitched at a SmackDown event, showing the words, "Legends never die." A production assistant swore he saw the shadow of a man in a black hat near the gorilla position. And then, the biggest hint of all, WWE's official account posted a picture of a gravestone with the WrestleMania date carved into it. No explanation, no caption, just silence. The internet exploded. Fans debated endlessly. Entire podcasts dedicated their episodes to the mystery. Was Undertaker really coming back? And if he did, who would he face? Some swore it would be Kane to close the book on the Brothers of Destruction. Others said it had to be Brock Lesnar, the man who ended the streak. Some pushed for Sting, the dream match that never happened. But the loudest voices were for Shawn Michaels, the showstopper, the icon, the man whose career had ended at the hands of The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26. Theories spread like wildfire. Clips of old Undertaker rivalries resurfaced, fans debating which rival deserved to be his final dance. And then, WrestleMania night arrived. The stadium was electric. Fans held signs, chanted names, and kept glancing at the stage, waiting for something to happen. Match after match delivered incredible action, but everyone sensed something bigger. The atmosphere was strange, as though the arena itself knew that something legendary was about to unfold. And then, the lights went out. Total darkness. The crowd screamed at the top of their lungs, nearly blowing the roof off the stadium. And then it came. That sound. That haunting, unforgettable sound. Gong. The noise was deafening. Fans cried, fans screamed, fans pulled out their phones to capture history. The Titantron came alive with images of graveyards, thunder, lightning, and shadows. Smoke poured across the entrance stage. Flames erupted into the sky. And then, through the haze, a figure appeared. The trench coat, the hat, the slow, deliberate walk. It was him, the Undertaker. The stadium shook. Commentators were speechless. Fans in the front row were sobbing uncontrollably. The dead man had risen. After years in retirement, after years of silence, the Phenom was back on the grandest stage of them all. Step by step, he walked to the ring, the gong echoing with each movement. His presence alone sent chills down spines. When he finally entered the ring, he removed his hat, rolled his eyes back, and raised his arms to the sky. The lights returned, and the WWE Universe erupted. But then the question came, why was he here? The answer arrived seconds later. Another theme hit. Music fans recognized instantly. The Titantron lit up with fire and gold. And then the name appeared. Shawn Michaels. The crowd lost its mind. The roof nearly blew off the stadium. The man whose career ended at the hands of The Undertaker. The man who delivered two of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history against him. The showstopper. The heartbreak kid. The icon. Shawn Michaels slowly walked to the ring. No dancing, no posing, no theatrics. Just pure intensity. His eyes locked on The Undertaker. The arena echoed with chants of, "This is awesome!" before a single punch had even been thrown. The two legends stood face to face. The crowd was on its feet, screaming, chanting, crying. This wasn't just a match. This was destiny. The bell rang, and the war began. From the opening moments, the match was electric. Undertaker's raw power dominated early, tossing Shawn around the ring like a rag doll. But Michaels' resilience, his quickness, his heart kept him alive. Every move was filled with history. Every strike carried the weight of their legacy. Shawn connected with stinging chops, echoing through the stadium, only to be flattened by Undertaker's massive right hands. Undertaker went for old school, walking the top rope, but Shawn countered with a jaw-dropping arm drag that sent the crowd into a frenzy. Moments later, Undertaker delivered a thunderous choke slam that shook the ring, covering for a near fall that had fans gasping. Then the counters began. Shawn went for sweet chin music. Undertaker caught his leg, spun him around, and planted him with a tombstone pile driver. The referee slid into position. 1, 2, Shawn kicked out. The crowd erupted in disbelief. Commentators screamed that they were watching history repeat itself. Shawn fought back, his face dripping with sweat, his chest bright red from the punishment. Out of nowhere, sweet chin music. Undertaker collapsed. Shawn crawled across the ring, barely hooking the leg. 1, 2, Undertaker kicked out. The stadium shook with noise. Fans were losing their minds. Back and forth they went. Undertaker went for a last ride. Shawn countered mid-air into a Hurricane Rana. The crowd gasped, screaming, chanting. Moments later, Shawn attempted another sweet chin music, but Undertaker ducked, catching him with a second tombstone. He crossed Shawn's arms. The referee counted. 1, 2, Shawn kicked out again. The crowd couldn't take it. Fans were crying. Commentators were screaming. People in the front rows were on their feet with their hands on their heads. This was more than a match. This was a war of legacies. Finally, exhausted, both men crawled to their feet. Shawn swung wildly with another sweet chin music, but Undertaker caught him. He hoisted him up, eyes rolling back, and delivered one final devastating tombstone pile driver. He hooked the leg, folded the arms, and the referee counted. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. It was over. The Undertaker had won. The crowd erupted into a standing ovation. Both men lay motionless on the mat, drained of every ounce of energy. Slowly, Shawn Michaels pulled himself to his feet, staring at the dead man. The two locked eyes. Years of history, years of respect, years of rivalry hung between them. And then, Shawn extended his hand. Undertaker stared at it. The crowd fell silent. Finally, the Phenom reached out and shook it. The stadium exploded. Rivals turned brothers, legends bound forever by destiny. Undertaker raised his fist to the sky. Lightning cracked across the stage. The lights went out. When they came back, he was gone. The dead man had vanished into legend. The aftermath was immediate. Social media exploded. Undertaker return trended worldwide. Clips of the entrance went viral, hitting millions of views within hours. Fans and critics called it the greatest WrestleMania moment of the decade. Wrestlers backstage were reportedly in tears, watching history unfold. Why did it matter so much? Because it wasn't about wins or losses. It wasn't about titles. It was about respect, about closure, about two men who gave everything to this business, standing across from each other one final time and delivering magic. The Undertaker's return wasn't just shocking. It was a reminder of why we watch. It was a resurrection of memories, emotions, and storytelling. It was proof that legends never die. And so, the story of The Undertaker's WrestleMania return will live forever. Fans will replay the entrance, the stare down, the match, the handshake. Parents will tell their kids about the night the gong hit one last time. And in every retelling, the legend will grow. Because The Undertaker doesn't retire, he doesn't fade away, he lives forever. He is, and always will be, the Phenom.